Hey guys, I'm going to do a car video today, and I want to tell you the 5 things I hate about my Toyota Corolla Cross after 1 year of ownership. And spoiler alert, I love the car, but here are the 5 things I would change if I could. All right, let's get going. Now, I just had her washed, and she still looks great, doesn't she? Just love the looks of this car, love the utility of this car, love the gas mileage of this car, and well, it's just a winner. And the price was right too. But what are the 5 things I hate, and what did I do about them, if anything? Okay, let's go. To start with, I think I've only got about 6,000 miles on the car because I don't drive much anymore now that I'm retired. But, the 5 things that bug me the most. Number one, auto start stop. It is the most annoying function that they've ever put on a car. And although I try to remember to turn it off, I often forget, and I find the engine turning off at a stoplight. Or worse yet, the worst possible thing, when I come to a stop in a parking lot, the engine turns off and turns back on before I can put it in park and turn off the key. Really, really goofy engineering on that thing. And if there was a way to permanently disable it without voiding the warranty on the car, I would do so. It is absolutely horrible, and I need to put a sticker or something right on the windshield to remind me to turn it off. It's actually harder to remember than you think. But, about 6 out of 10 times I remember, and then those are times when it is absolutely annoying. And this is on a lot of new cars, and I know it's a gimmick to increase fuel mileage statistics and so forth, but that's kind of obvious. Let's move on to number two. Number two, blind spot monitoring. Okay, well, I got the base model because it was really, really affordable, and I thought I could live without the blind spot monitoring. And this is the lowest level of the Corolla Cross, which has virtually all the same mechanical attributes as some of the higher levels. It is not a hybrid. But the blind spot monitoring is really, really useful, and I do miss it very, very much. So what did I do? I went to the auto parts store and I bought these fisheye mirrors. I put these fisheye mirrors on the left mirror and the right mirror. I'll show you a picture here as I talk about this. And I'm able to get nearly as good visibility as the blind spot monitoring would warn me to. The only thing I would probably do different here is on the right-hand side, I would pick a little bigger fisheye mirror. They cost $5. So I think I've got about 80% of the functionality, and you'd be surprised how quickly your eyes adjust to use that, because it is really, really necessary to know if there's a car hiding in your blind spot without having to stick your head out the window. But on the right side, a little more difficult, a little more stressful, and I wish I had a little bigger fisheye mirror. And I'll probably replace these going forward. Would I spend the $2,000-3,000 more to get the blind spot monitoring? No, I probably wouldn't, but I do miss it very much. Number three, the underpowered engine. All right, this engine is puny by most standards. I believe it's the same engine that they use to power the Toyota Corolla, which weighs quite a bit less than this monster. The engine does strain. Okay, it strains going up a hill. It strains a little bit on takeoff. And the transmission is a beast of its own. But, okay, although I do hate the fact that I don't have as much power as I would like, I love the fact that I'm getting 28 to 29 miles per gallon around town. Okay, so gas mileage is excellent, and where I live, gas prices are going up. So I would not trade this for a bigger engine or a turbo engine if they ever make such a thing for the Corolla Cross. But the thing with the transmission is that it doesn't drive like a typical it's a combination transmission with a real first gear and then a CVT in later gears. And it's very, very nice transmission compared to some other makers, but it's a little bit quirky. And what I find is going up hills, my driveway has a hill as I go out of it, or when I come home, you have to freely push the accelerator pedal. You have to exaggerate the movements of the accelerator pedal to shift down as you're going up a hill. So I didn't know that in the beginning, and the engine will lumber trying to get up until after 10 seconds or so, it'll shift itself. But really, the way to get around this is just give that pedal, about a 2-inch push, 1 to 2 inch push, and it will kick back down to that low gear. It'll get you right up the hill and then go back into normal mode, which I think is the CVT mode. So I'm able to overcome that, but you really need to get good at working that transmission. It is not as sensitive as it should be to get you rolling at lower speeds, so feel free to kick it in the butt to get it moving, then immediately take off the accelerator, and you don't want to wind the engine by keeping the accelerator down. You just want to goose that transmission into that lower gear for a little bit, and you'll get moving. When you're on a hill, well, it's a little different thing. It really works to get up steep inclines, and you may want to use the manual mode to pick your gear when you do that. Number 4 will only apply to those of you who are taller or have long legs. The car has massive headroom, so it's perfect for a big guy or a big gal, tall. But the dead pedal. The dead pedal on the left side of the compartment is massive. It's huge. It's made for small people with small legs to get their left leg up on the rest. But for those of us with long legs or taller people, it makes it impossible to relax your left foot when you're driving long distances. I despise dead pedals, and a matter of fact, I despise them so much that I took mine out. And you can do the same thing. You carefully lift up the carpet, you lift up the felt that's under the carpet, and then you wiggle on that piece of styrofoam. It's just a big piece of white styrofoam. You wiggle on it until you crack it off, okay? Keep it, if you're ever gonna give your car back when the lease is up or whatnot, you may want to put that back in. But when you do that, you can remove that giant hunk of styrofoam and you can stretch out your left leg. All right, you may have to put some weight on that carpet for a few days to make the carpet relax back down to the floor. But my dead pedal is out and my left leg is happy now. Number 5, the incessant chiming, high volume chiming when you fail to immediately put on your seatbelt. Unless you put on your seatbelt before you start the car, you are going to get the most annoying chime you have ever heard, and it is going to chime, and then it's going to turn into a rapid fire, ear-piercing chime eventually until you put your seatbelt on or you turn the car off. All right, and a bonus thing I hate, but I actually don't hate, is the engine noise. Now, of course, in the base model that I got, there is no sound dampening in the hood. You got to spend a couple grand more to get that, along with the blind spot monitoring and some other cool goodies. But the engine noise I thought would bother me. It is a rather loud engine. It's working very hard and it's rather small. And there's no sound insulation under the hood. Thank you very much, Toyota, for saving that $20 and letting us listen to the engine. But you know what? I don't even hear it. And I thought I would put one of those aftermarket kits in the car when I first got it to avoid this problem. And now I don't care. The engine is in the background. It doesn't bother me at all. It's actually even kind of a pleasant little noise. If you want to go out on a limb a little bit. So the engine noise I thought would be a problem. A lot of people have a big problem with engine noise. You get used to it. That's all I'll say. Now, a passenger may say, hey, your engine's a little loud, and you'll say, yeah, it is. But it doesn't bother me at all anymore. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a couple more things that don't bother me at all. The seats. The seats are actually quite comfortable, and I've gotten very used to them, and they're ample for a big guy, and probably very nice for a smaller person as well. So, I like the seats. I like the dashboard. I like the interior. I like the fit and finish. I like the way the car holds together. I'm even okay with the rear fixed axle, although it kind of jolts over bumps in the road. You know, the base model does not come, or at least unless you get the four-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive, it comes with a fixed rear axle. I'd prefer to have independent, suspension back there, but I don't hit bumps that often. If I were if I drove a lot of country roads, I would definitely want, the independent suspension. But no big deal for me. I'm just tooling around town most of the time. Another thing that I love is how high off the ground this SUV is. This SUV is very elevated. I don't have any trouble getting in and out of it, but it's not that tall really. But I love the high ground clearance. I fly through bumps and speed bumps and dips in the road, irrigation channels, etc. This car is high off the ground, and that is fantastic. Very, very beefy, very, very easy to drive through. When your wife is slowing down because she has a Camry with 2 inches of clearance between the front cowl and the road. And, in that situation, you can fly right over that speed bump or over that depression in the driveway. So it sits high and it works really well. I also love the hatchback. The tonneau cover in the hatchback is very, very cheap, and they threw mine in for free, but it's very, very, very cheap, and I find it to be an impediment to putting all the junk I haul back and forth in this car. So I threw mine in the garage, and but you could get it if you feel like you need it to hide your valuables, but it is the cheapest tonneau cover. Maybe that's not the right word for it, but the cover that is in the back area of the SUV that accordions out. I wouldn't get it. I think it's in the way. Any trip to Home Depot and you'll be popping that thing out anyway, so I wouldn't get that. Another thing that's fantastic about the car is the really, really highly refined lane center monitoring and adaptive cruise control. All right, even in the base model, you get the most advanced system I've ever driven, and that is that you can press cruise control, and after you figure out the instruments, which are extremely counterintuitive, not intuitive instruments at all in the Toyotas, but in this one, once you finally figure it out, you can press the cruise control button. It will keep you right in the center of the lane, and it will take the corners, etc. It will also adjust to the car in front of you based on how you have set the number of car spaces you want, and it will do that in fast traffic, slow traffic, and nearly stop and go traffic. But it doesn't really like stopping and going. But even a crawl of 5 miles per hour, the adaptive cruise control and the lane centering works perfectly. It is very, very well engineered, and hats off to Toyota for such a great system. But you don't want to take your hand off the wheel, because then you'll get that annoying chime. And I'll leave you with, first of all, I'm really happy I bought this SUV. It was about 25 grand, and that was a great price for all the technology and all the functionality of this vehicle. So it's a perfect car to take me into retirement, and I'm very happy I bought it. And everybody who drives in it says, wow, this is a really nice car. So I think you'll be happy if you buy one, in spite of my complaints. And if you want to go up a level, you'll be even happier with it, I think. Or maybe you even want all-wheel drive. Just keep in mind, it won't tow anything. This car is not made to tow. If you're going to tow a boat or something, or a small trailer, you're going to need a RAV4. You're not going to want the Toyota Corolla Cross, unless somehow they've improved it in the hybrid model, but I don't think they have. So no towing, okay? And maybe someday I'll regret that. But I think you'll be very happy with this car. Very, very happy. And I thought I was done, but there is one more thing I have to call out. And I think Toyota is very derelict in this. When they sell you the car, they will tell you that you have 2 years of free maintenance. And of course, you have a warranty covering all the major systems and things that break on the car. But as part of that 2-year maintenance package, it includes oil changes and regular maintenance. However, Toyota does not recommend changing the oil at 5,000 miles like every intelligent person I've ever known does, even with synthetic oil. They want you to wait until, I think it's 8,000, maybe 10,000 miles. And when you take your car in at the 5,000 mile mark, they will not change your factory oil. And, and I think a lot of people are fooled by this to think that it's okay not to change the oil. So you definitely don't want to follow their advice. You want to change your oil, no matter what oil you use, every 5,000 miles, maybe more often. If you want to get 200,000, 300,000 miles out of this very simple, naturally aspirated engine, no turbo, there's no reason this car will not run forever. But it will not run forever if you neglect your oil changes as Toyota instructs you to do. So it's a little bit of a bait and switch, and I think they actually fool people into not changing their oil as rapidly, as often as they should. This happened to my wife with her Camry. I don't think she got her first oil change until 10,000 miles, and I didn't realize it until I was watching a Scotty Kilmer video on the subject. And then I took my car in, and they would not change my oil at 5,000 miles. They will tell you no. They'll rotate your tires and, take a look at the air filter and do absolutely nothing at 5,000 miles. Maybe put some washer fluid in, but they will not change your oil. So I highly recommend you get yourself on an alternating schedule at your favorite mechanic where you change your oil midway between the free Toyota oil changes, and your car will go to 300,000 miles too. That's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. I'm not a car mechanic or anything like that. I just like to report on new cars that I buy, and I'm really happy with this one, but maybe there's some things here that will give you some food for thought and help you. Guys, I'll see you later. Louie out.